Yo guys, welcome back to our podcast.
And remember, stupidity is prohibited. So first, we'll be talking about the Warriors and Trailblazers series. So let's start that off.
All games, game 2, game 3, and game 4, the Blazers led by 17 in each of those games and blew the leads.
Yeah, the Warriors are definitely a third and fourth quarter team, as we saw by those games, and any team can dominate them in the first half, but it shows that they're so dominant in third and fourth quarter that they can outscore them 17 points. And also, the
Yeah.
fourth game came to overtime, which was sadly lost by 2 points. And Damian Lillard had a couple shots that were close to going in, but obviously didn't go in, which kind of sucked for them. And Dame, obviously, I think we said last podcast, playing with the separated rib, he he couldn't really do much. I didn't think he was feeling himself. He didn't feel right.
And those game-winning shots, even though Iguodala is a good defender, like Damian Lillard's been in that position plenty of times in his career. I feel like he could have executed it a little better.
Definitely, he knows these situations. He is the star player in the team. It's not just some random guy like we're having El Farouk Amino just shoot this shot. No, it's Damian Lillard, the the best player in the team. Obviously, C.J. McCollum up there too, but the most clutch player in the team.
Myers Leonard, although he had a breakout first half, he only got 5 points in the second half, which was kind of disappointing on like the cool off he had in game
Yeah,
4.
definitely if he stepped up later on, I mean the Warriors just stopped him after on. Uh Steve Kerr definitely gave him a good talking to help cool down Myers Leonard.
Yeah, and also the bench for the Trailblazers in that game didn't really perform, except for Seth Curry in the other games was playing very well, but he did not do anything in game 4.
Yeah, there's really not much to talk about this series because it was just a sweep, but obviously fun game to enjoy and watch because there was overtime. But yeah, I was a little bummed having to see them lose at the end.
There's not really much to talk about
Yeah,
in this series.
we can probably just go right on to
As,
Raptors and Bucks, to be honest.
yeah, because the series was just a blowout.
Definitely. So
Alright, and then game 4 is going on right now.
game 4 is going on right
In game
now.
6.
Game 6. Uh and the score is excuse me. I think it was 45. No, 50-43, my bad, and Bucks are winning. So it's halftime right now. Bucks had a amazing first quarter with 31 points, allowing Toronto to only score 18 points. But then in the second quarter, Toronto scored 25, where Bucks only scored 19 points. So Toronto's really keeping up with the pace with the Bucks, and I feel like after this halftime, Toronto could just sweep right past the Bucks if the Bucks can't hold on.
Yeah, Giannis had a quote. Like he said, Bucks are the best team in the league, and they will not fold in Game 6 against the Raptors.
That
They had the best defensive rating, 104.9 in the league during the regular season. They allowed just 101.5 points per game, while going 10-1 through their first 11 postseason contests. But in the last 2 games, all losses, and they've allowed 114.3 points per game. And they need to play better defense if they're going to allow Van Vliet to score as much as he is because he's a shooter.
Yeah, definitely agree. And going back to the Giannis quote, he's really confident in his team, and obviously you can't go against your team. So I get that. Obviously being confident, and we're kind of seeing it at the first quarter, and hopefully they can hold on and make this series a little more interesting.
Definitely, I'd like to see it happen.
So Brooke Lopez and Giannis have been doing well at the start, getting a couple blocks, and Giannis has been performing well. Definitely having Kawhi defending him is kind of tough, but he's been doing good, scoring around like 20 points
Hmm.
last game, and he's been getting the rebounds and assists. He's not selfish. And also talking about Kawhi, Kawhi had an amazing game in game 5. He scored uh around like 20 or 30 points, I believe, but also being really not selfish and giving the ball around and giving Fred Van Vliet his shot and letting him drain threes, and it obviously worked that game, which definitely going to be seeing it more this game. Definitely going to be seeing more assists
Um,
and more help.
in the game right now, he has 8 points, Kawhi Leonard, which I can see because like he's most definitely a second half player, and he's just gonna come out, and I feel like he's gonna score a lot more in the second half.
Yeah, definitely agree. Definitely seeing should be seeing more improvements for the Bucks, and nothing too much to talk about. Instead of Toronto's just been having a great game, having
Yeah,
insane and just really good performance.
and Fred Van Vliet has been playing very well.
Definitely hitting the threes, and he really knows what to do. He's a experienced player, and there's not really much to say. They're just performing the way they should be performing.
Huh?
Pascal Siakam having pretty good games. Not starting out too good game 6, but obviously he's not expected to be a star player, but it definitely helps seeing even like seeing many players just perform for them instead of just having Kawhi and Kyle Lowry. Kyle
Like,
Lowry actually hasn't been playing too good, but you can go ahead.
Siakam is leading them in scoring right now in Game 6.
Yeah, really?
Hmm.
Dang. So, I mean, you see that definitely Uh, Siakam's been doing well.
Hmm. Uh, and so right now, Kawhi Leonard, Game 5, 35 points, which is absurd. And he's been doing this for pretty much all of the season, like postseason. He's just been a great player. And he's right now, he's playing like he's the best player in the world right now, as of May 25th, 2019, at 8:51.
Yeah, Kawhi definitely in his prime in the postseason. He's definitely, I'd even argue the best postseason player ever to play
Hmm. And I say we head to baseball.
baseball. We could, yep. Um, so you can start off with baseball.
The Cubs. We're just gonna start with the Cubs. They are like cooling off, losing a few of their past games, and they are still the leaders in the NL Central, but they need to be playing better. Although, like, the Phillies are playing very good baseball right now, they have .04 worse win percentage than the Cubs, and that series played a big part in that because if the Cubs won that, their lead in the NL Central would have been much bigger. But now, since they're playing the Reds, these are huge games for them to pick up on. And the Cubs in their last 10 are 5-5, and playing much better at home with an 18-9 record to a 12-11 record away from home.
I just wanted to do a little update on the Bucks Raptors game. Mike Budenholzer, the Bucks coach,
Cool.
just got a technical foul.
It should be rubbing his shoulders.
Yep, yeah. Have Drake go rub his shoulders. But no.
And
So
NL
so
East will go to
no. I actually wanted to.
Philly.
You go. Yeah.
Phillies are playing very well, 7-3 in their last 10, and part of those coming against the Cubs. And I feel like that's gonna be one of the more tough divisions right now between like two teams. It's only gonna be like a two-team race between the Braves and Phillies. But I can just see the Phillies running away with it in the dog days of the season.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about the Twins. Twins having the best record in baseball right now with 35-16 and making history with actually tying history, tying an MLB record with 100 home runs in the first 50 games of the season. They're
2 home runs a game.
what? Yeah, 2 home runs a game.
Two
They're
home runs a game.
they're definitely playing well, and they're definitely on track to have a great season ahead of
And
them.
then 11 last time.
Definitely gonna be a fun postseason seeing the Twins. Haven't seen them in a little bit.
A few
Um,
years.
yeah, a few years. Um,
And the Indians need to like start picking up pace because if the Twins keep playing ball like they are, they're gonna have to win a wild card between a tough race where you have the Rays, the Red Sox are in it, and then somehow the White Sox might be able to surge later on in the season. The Rangers are playing decent, and the AL West is like you're gonna talk about them near October, ready
uh,
for postseason.
definitely talking about the Indians. The Indians just beat the Rays yesterday 4-1 with the Rays having terrible pitching, walking in a couple runs, and also just now the Indians just lost 6-2 against the Rays, and the Rays are a very good team. Just need a couple better pitchers, and they could be another postseason team.
And owing to the NL West, they have a very good winning percentage. The Dodgers with a 600.647 win percentage and playing good baseball away from home, but much better at home with a 19-6 record compared to a 14-12 record away from home. And also the Diamondbacks, which is kind of odd, have a much better record away from the desert than they do home. 11-13 at home and 16-12 away.
Yeah,
And the Rockies had their game was like snowed out in mid-May.
definitely. Also, talking about the home runs, New York Yankees just last season set their team record of 267 home run, which show and it says that the Twins are currently on pace for 324 home runs this season. And if and
It's crazy.
in other words, if they keep this up, they will they could pass the Yankees before September 1st.
Be crazy because last year was the most home runs ever hit, and this year, if like in the Cubs Reds game today, 3 home runs each for each team. If this like slugging keeps going on, I feel like there would be a much better, like much higher home runs this year.
There's more franchise records Minnesota's Twins hit in those 50 games, and one was the run differential, which I wanted to talk upon, and it's plus 97. That's definitely showing like also like the home runs they're showing, and they also have 300 runs scored and 217 extra base hits, around 900 total bases, slugging 521, and having an OPS of 863.
Great numbers. And then since the Indians are struggling this year, and if they keep struggling, there are trade rumors of Bauer being traded away from the Indians, and they could probably get a few prospects in the minor leagues that will help them in the future. Because right now they're not looking too good, and how the Twins are playing, they might have to start going into the selling market.
Yeah, definitely. Having a really good pitcher, Bauer, definitely good player to kind of be scary to see him go away, but could have good
And the
trades.
Padres are expected to be one of the clubs in the mix for one of the starting pitchers, and the boost of Manny Machado, and then the rookie sensations Fernando Tatis Jr. and Chris Paddock are playing very good right now. So they might be in a postseason spot, and having a great starting pitcher like Bauer would help out a lot. And also, Madison Bumgarner is in those talks too, because the Giants have been struggling these past few years, and he's also one of the ace pitchers that could be getting sent away.
Yep, definitely.
Having one of those pitchers on your team could make like a huge difference on how far you can go in the playoffs, because you're gonna have much more depth in your pitching, and having like two aces in your rotation, like two people that can be an ace on any team in your rotation, will just destroy offenses in the postseason.
Going back on the Indians, they've been they started out their season without Lindor. Obviously, not good for them. Jose Ramirez hasn't been playing up to his potential. Obviously, seeing how he played last season, definitely not looking good at all for his career. And even talking about like Andrew Miller and like Aroldis Chapman, we always knew of them as like the best closers in baseball, but now they're like terrible. They cannot control the ball at all, and they're looking to be like the worst closers in the game. And also talking upon the Indians, Indians have been playing with a ton of new prospects. Seeing like Jake Bowers, they've been playing Jordan Luplo, just like a lot of new players for the Indians. Leonis Martin, good player, newer for them. Having Cargo, uh, having many new players just hasn't hasn't improved them too
It worked
much.
out.
Hasn't really worked out yet.
And going back to Aroldis Chapman, when he gave up that home run against the Indians to tie it up in the World Series 2016, in like the eighth inning to Rajai Davis, one of the commentators, I forgot his name, uh, he said you can only flirt with fire for so long, and that was like perfect, because all Aroldis Chapman can do is throw it fast, and his like slider is a little iffy. So if he keeps on throwing fastballs, eventually someone's going to be able to hit it.
Definitely. He and Rajai Davis was not looking good at all going into that game, but he was able to to hit that home run and definitely uplifted the Indians to almost being able to win that World Series, and would have been the first in a long while. Definitely a first in a long while for the Cubs also. So it was cool to see that.
Then going back to how many home runs are being hit this year, it was a record-setting day for the Padres on Saturday. They put season high 19 runs, but they hit 7 home runs in that game.
7 home
which is
runs.
just boosting the pace up even more for the entire MLB.
I wanted to even touch on a thing about minor league, which obviously no one really cares about. But there was a game, I think it was like something like Tacoma Raiders and like Reno Aces. But it was a game that it was 25-8. Huge scoring game. It's just crazy seeing those numbers. Not even you don't see those numbers anywhere.
Uh, George Springer, Jose Altuve are placed on the 10-day injured list.
Yeah, obviously.
With a left hamstring strain, and then those two players could be key for them to keeping up their pace of winning as much as they are, because they're pretty much their
Star
two best
players.
players. Yeah, and that will just take away very good defense. They're both very good defenders, and then you have like speed from your top speed and power from the top of your order being taken out.
Yeah, definitely. George Springer being the AL home run leader, that's going to take a lot out of the Astros, and is going to have more other players having to play better and really just show up to those next few games that they'll be without Springer and Altuve.
Baseball is kind of getting more and more fun, and I feel like once the NBA season is over, I feel like it'll be a lot more interesting, because like that's what I mean, like the main sport besides NBA free agency.
Definitely NBA free agency, all the awards and drafts, and definitely baseball is gonna pick up speed, and we're gonna be seeing more into postseason teams. Because right now we're just seeing like a couple teams just showing up and seeing who isn't playing up to normal potential and stuff. And soon we'll be able to maybe foresee or predict uh postseason teams. And
Yeah, in the beginning of the year, you're always gonna have those teams jumping up like out of nowhere, playing amazing baseball coming out the gate, and then like usually they'll fall off later in the season. So if like the Twins can keep this pace up, it'd be much different seeing them in the postseason rather than the Indians, who've like dominated that division for the past years.
we can go on to talking about the All NBA teams, a couple that have came out. We can start talking about the All NBA defensive team, and I can name off the players. First, we have Rudy Gobert, and we have Drew Holiday, Marcus Smart, Draymond Green, Paul George, Eric Bledsoe, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, and Joel Embiid. Big names starting off that I see is definitely Draymond Green, and like Kawhi Leonard and Giannis. Draymond Green definitely had huge opportunities in Warriors and Trailblazers game. Also, I was even thinking about Iguodala with a huge save at I believe like game 3 to steal. But yeah, Draymond Green's definitely a great defender. Definitely uh deserved to be on the All NBA defensive team.
Uh, I really love how these teams came out, but maybe Kawhi Leonard being on the first team. I do not think that he should have been on the second team. I feel like he could have been on the first team the way he's been playing.
Definitely.
And
He's
Marcus Smart
yep.
is like an underrated defender. Like you don't like when you watch the Celtics games, like he doesn't even start, but he still brings that defensive energy, and he's like their dad of the team, kind of like he sticks up for every single one of them.
He definitely is. Marcus Smart is definitely underrated as a player and definitely brings all the energy towards their team and really motivates them to help win their games. Definitely like an energy booster and helps clutch up end games.
I don't see Rudy Gobert losing that spot for a little while. Maybe if Anthony Davis gets traded to like a bigger team, he'll get more recognition for his defense. And let's talk about Patrick Beverley. He's probably very upset with himself that he hasn't made one of these teams.
Definitely. He loves to get into people's heads. He's really good at defending and really able to get in their heads to just like break them down mentally, and then his defense can just like say all the rest.
Yeah, Patrick Beverley wasn't really close to making first team. There's a lot of great defenders in this league, and someone like who also got some votes is James Harden, which I don't feel like he gets respect for his defense because when he came into the league he couldn't do anything on defense. But like he gets steals. Like he's like picks off passes and stuff.
He's definitely agile, but I couldn't see him in all NBA defensive team. I could
I don't think
definitely
he is on the team. Like he shouldn't be on the team, but he needs to get recognized more for his defense.
definitely I see him improving in his defense, but definitely not all the way up to the all NBA defensive team yet because there's many good defenders. Just like Klay Thompson, underrated defender. I feel like a lot of these are really just underrated defenders, uh, and it gives them more recognition, which helps. It's good for them. Good to see.
And the all rookie first team this year
Oh,
was the first time the first 5 draft picks were all on the rookie team.
yep. We have all the players are Jaren Jackson Jr., DeAndre Ayton, Mitchell Robinson, Landry Shamet, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous Alexander, Marvin Bagley III, Kevin Huerter, Trey Young, and Colin Sexton.
And the
Uh,
first team was Doncic, Young, Ayton, Jackson, and Bagley.
yep. Uh,
And
I names that really stuck out to me were Doncic, Trey Young, and like DeAndre Ayton. Nothing really stuck out to me on Colin Sexton. He didn't really make a huge difference for the Cavs really. He was definitely good, but he just really needed to improve, and I feel like he will this next upcoming season, and I feel like he'll be better for the team and he'll understand the game better.
I completely agree mostly with the first team because Luka Doncic, in my mind, he's the rookie of the year. And
We need Wendell
I
Carter.
and yeah, Wendell Carter did not get any votes, but like when he was in, he made a huge difference.
Definitely, I liked his gameplay. I really liked to see him out there. Definitely made a big difference for the Bulls getting getting better every season. Um, we can talk about Trey Young. Trey Young was absolutely insane in his in the pre I mean not in the preseason in
Second
the
half,
yeah, he definitely showed up and he was dropping like some 40 bombs, 40-point games, and he showed out for Atlanta, which are not a postseason team, but they can definitely be built to one around Trey Young or with Trey Young.
Landry Shamet with pick 26 in round one. He was probably one of the better rookies this year too. Like no one expected Landry Shamet to be a difference maker in the NBA, and after that trade to the Clippers, he just like sparked. Also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, like them two leading the way for the LA Clippers, and both of them were playing very well in the postseason, which led to taking the Warriors to 6 games, which no one thought would happen. People thought at most like 1 game they'll get, but they got 2.
Yeah, Luka Doncic, amazing player. Cool to see him on the Mavericks, because we haven't seen the Mavericks do any good since Dirk Nowitzki. And I also want to touch on like the last all NBA first rookie team having Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Kyle Kuzma, and Lauri Markkanen. I just want to compare them, and I feel like
I take the last year's team.
yeah, I'd definitely take last year's team having Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons, definitely two outstanding players. And Lauri Markkanen, awesome. He's very tall,
You can play him at the
able to
center.
body.
He can shoot the ball. He's like, people say he's a Dirk Nowitzki pretty much. Like he's gonna turn out like how Dirk did, like have the same play style. And if he comes anywhere near to what Dirk did, I feel like the Bulls would be able to win a championship with him.
Definitely, you'll be seeing the Bulls in a couple seasons, maybe in the postseason, maybe even getting into the finals. Jason Tatum, also great player, really good play style, helping the Celtics. Celtics have a bunch of young talent, and obviously Jason Tatum being one of them. Also like Jaylen Brown, all of them are really good players that helped Celtics become better, and also Kyrie Irving.
All right, we're gonna start
I mean, we can
shifting towards hockey,
first we do all NBA
and
first
now
team.
uh, oh yeah,
Just a little bit about it. So, first team: Giannis, Stephen Curry, Paul George, James Harden, Nikola Jokic.
Dame got snubbed.
Yeah, Dame definitely did, but I
Although Steph Curry, like, has been the best point guard in the league this year, Damian Lillard played much better than Steph Curry did.
yeah, I feel like Stephen Curry really showed out in playoffs, but you can't really just think about the playoffs. It's really about the whole season. Um,
And LeBron James on the third team, which snapped an 11-year streak of him being on the first team.
that's all about having the Lakers being the team, because Cavaliers had a bunch of known, not really bunch of no names, but basically a bunch of no names. Uh, we they did have Kevin Love. Obviously, we have Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving then left, and we just Kevin Love, and LeBron James was still able to do well. And it's just Lakers are falling down with their whole staff, and I feel like LeBron James should get
Mm.
out of there and probably find a new team.
And Nikola Jokic is, in my eyes, top 2 centers in the league. He can shoot the three, he can pass, he'll rebound. If he averages a triple double, he's gonna get the recognition that he should be getting.
Yeah, him and Yusuf Nurkic, um, insane players, uh, playing at center, both very explosive and able to dominate in the post. Um, and I mean the rest: Giannis, Curry, Paul George, James Harden. I really couldn't pick anyone over him except like Damian Lillard over Stephen Curry, but
Steph Curry.
I'd probably still keep Steph Curry. Damian Lillard didn't show up in the postseason and just didn't look as good,
Mm.
as promising as Curry would. Um,
Alright,
so yeah,
now since we know the finals, the Stanley Cup
yep,
final for
Bruins
hockey,
and Blues.
Bruins, yeah, Blues. So we're gonna talk about the Sharks series first.
Yeah, Blues
because
scoring
of
5
a much
points.
more interesting series. And in the final game, the Sharks were struggling, and then going down to that 2-0 deficit in the first period really set them up for failure, because if they were gonna go down 2-0 in the first period, they'd have to come back strong in the second and third period, which was not really what they did. With only scoring one goal in the second period, to where the Blues matched them up, and then empty netters for the Blues
Yeah, both
to
both
final it out.
both 2 games, 2 past games for the Sharks just didn't play as well as they could have, having the Blues score 5 points each time. And I'm pretty sure Blues had like a rookie goalkeeper, right?
Yeah, goaltender.
Goaltender. Um, definitely, definitely odd for the
Really
Sharks
not
not
much
being able to.
controversy this time.
Not much controversy. Yeah, it'll be fun
We'll
seeing
have more
losing
info.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely have
yeah.
more
I'm gonna like
information.
to. Yeah, we're gonna have more information next episode, because the series weren't as interesting. Besides the little hand pass, the Blues ran away from it, and the Bruins blew the Hurricanes out in a 4-0 series, which is just crazy. And Boston is back in the finals for another sport, like they are in pretty much every year, between the Patriots, the Red Sox, Celtics.
Yeah, don't have too much to talk about on hockey except showing the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
We could
UFC, not really a major fight coming on.
not really too much in NFL really, having the
Yeah.
off season. Um,
News from players doing stupid things.
yeah, it's really just like fun
Pretty
seeing.
much the only thing you can go.
No, you go. I don't really have much.
Okay. The pretty much the only thing to talk about is, should Peyton Manning become an owner or a GM
Yeah, yeah.
for around the league? And personally, if he was the one that set up that Colts team, I feel as if he should, and I feel like he'd be able to do it very well
Definitely, it'd be fun to
and
see
maybe
see
create a
him.
successful team.
Um, yeah. So it's really a lot of talk around like I feel like Bears and Browns definitely have big like big big rebuilds
Expectations.
expectations and rebuild that had
Yeah.
happened through the past couple years. Obviously,
And update on the Raptors game. It's
76
76-70.
66. It's 76
76-70 in favor of the
66.
Bucks. Drake is getting fired up.
Yeah, 76 66 with Drake getting
Plus
fired up.
7 now.
Giannis just getting a block on Pascal Siakam. Um, yeah,
Oh, that is pretty much it we have. And thank you guys for watching and listening.
and remember,
And
stupidity
remember,
is prohibited. Peace.